So for this day 2 elimination, I want you to first go back to the review. On all of these, something canceled out on the first step, right? That's why we called it elimination method. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And elimination really meant it equals 0. So, and we get that by addition. So the whole, for this to work, and for us to call this elimination method, when we add the two equations together, we have to have something equal 0. So notice a little property about equaling 0 when you're adding. First thing, if we have positive 2, what do we have to use to get 0? Right down the minus 2. If we have a negative 3, what do we need to have to equal 0? Plus 3. So you have one positive, one negative of the same number. That's how you get 0. So going down to here, you'll notice that if we added these up, nothing eliminates. Here we get 6x. Here we get negative 2y. So nothing eliminates. So we want to go back and figure out, well, what can we do to make something eliminate? We need to make one of the variables eliminate. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to look at both the equations carefully and decide, well, if I want to cancel out 8x, what do I need right above it? A negative 8, right? I have a negative 2. So what can I multiply this by in order to get negative 8? And that's going to be the only thing that's new today is trying to work backwards. Like, well, I have an 8. I need a negative 8. So if I multiply this by 4, I'll have the negative 8 that I need to cancel it out. Now, be careful here. You need to distribute here to the negative 8x that we go on for. But you also need to do the other parts of the equation as well. I'm going to multiply 4 times my negative 3y and 4 times negative 1. And the bottom will just stay the same because it's already 8 and now cancel out with the negative I just got above. And this is the only thing that's different about today is that it's not set up to eliminate from step 1. You're going to have to do a little bit of work. But from here on out, this is a problem we've been doing for 2 days. See how we have 8 and negative 8 now? Cancels out. And so we'll have negative 12 plus 1. And negative 4 plus 15. That equals 1. So we have y equals negative 1. And that's the beginning of our answer. Now, for today, for right now, stop at this point on each problem. Let's get the first variable. I just want you guys to practice this new part first, and then go back after you finish the back like this, go back and do the second variable and do a check. Okay? I'll do 4, 5, and 6, get you guys started. At any point, if you feel confident, like, okay, I got the hang of it, quietly just continue on your own. But remember, you only have to do the first variable for now. Tomorrow, the first thing will be to do the second variable, so if you have time, you can go ahead and do the second variable and finish that. A few people are finished about most people just finish the first variable today, so this is a short thing. Okay, so we can multiply the top equation or the bottom equation, and we can cancel out x or y. So you might have work that will not match somebody else's, but you will end up with the same answer. So fair notice, if you guys are comparing the answer with somebody else, they have something completely different written, but their answer is coming out the same and their check works. It's okay. There are multiple ways of doing this. Okay. For the most part, though, they will turn out to be the same. So let's look at number 4. You see we got a negative 4x and a 12x. So can I make these cancel out? It equals 8, right? 12 minus 4 is 8x. So what do I need? Yeah, I need to multiply this by 3. Okay, and it's all about thinking backwards. Like I have a 12, that means I need a negative 12. Right here I have a negative 4, so if I multiply that negative 4 by 3, I'll have a negative 12 by 3. So it takes a little bit of thinking and planning for us to work out. And remember, you have to multiply 3 times. Plus 24. bottom is the same. Now there will come a time where you'll need to multiply the top and the bottom by a number, two different numbers, for this to work. But today you only need to multiply by one. So if you multiply by the top, the bottom stays the same, or if you multiply the bottom, the top stays the same. So if something eliminates or equals 0, you know you're on the right track. If you do something, multiply, and then you try to add them up and both variables are still there, nothing eliminated, then you know there's a problem. You got 34 times 1 is 62, and you know 68 divided by 34 is. We got our first part of our answer, and we can stop there for now and show this first step for every other problem. So both of those we multiplied on the top. Let's look at the next two where you're going to multiply the bottom. Not that it makes a difference. If I just switch the order of these two equations, it doesn't change the answer, right? So you can multiply the top or the bottom. The order here is not important. All right, number 5. What should we multiply by and where? Yeah, bottom by negative 2, right? So we see we got a positive 6 here. That means we need a negative 6 right below it. So if we have a positive 6, we multiply by negative 2 to give you the negative 6. So you got to plan this carefully. If you just do 2, you're going to have 6y plus 6y, which is 12y. Nothing's going to eliminate. So one little negative can make the difference. So we have the bottom now, it's going to be negative 16x, right? So I have to multiply each one of these. Negative 2 times 8, negative 2 times 3, which is negative 8y. And negative 2 times 16 is negative 34. So we can multiply the bottom equation as well. Change anything. Yeah, negative 9x, this stays the same. Positive 6y and equals negative 18, so we have our elimination there. 6 minus 6 eliminates, equals 0. We'll have negative 25 times what is negative 50. There you go. The only thing that's different from what you're doing is this first step of multiplying by a number so that the elimination occurs. So that's it. A positive and a negative, right, of the same variable. That's why they call it elimination method. The variable is eliminated by adding it up. Notice how like these ones our first answer was y equals, so I wrote it here for a second. It was alphabetical. But down below when we just did, my answer was x equals. So you can solve and cancel out any variable. This time we got x equals 2, so that's why it's written here. Always alphabetical regardless of which order you actually solve it in during the problem. Okay. So lastly, let's do number 6, set it up. What do we need to multiply by and where? So if you look at the x's, it's like we can't multiply 7 by anything to give us 9, or 9 by anything to give us 7. So that's how we know not to bother this and try it here. This is nothing that multiplies times 7 to get 9. But here, 4, yeah, we can multiply this by negative 4, not positive 4, but negative 4, right? And then we'll have positive 4 on the top and negative 4 on the bottom. We're just going to go through each one and see, well, does it work? Now, there's going to be times where, well, you can cancel out the x's or the y's, and you have a choice. That's where your work can be different and still have the same answer. But you're always looking for just one variable to cancel out. In a rare occasion, both will cancel out, and we'll look at those later, and that will be like the no solutions and infinite solutions and stuff we saw earlier before. All right. We got negative 36x. We got negative 4y. We got 4 times 26. Well, 4 times 25 is 100, right? quarters makes a dollar. So plus 4 more to make 26 will give us 104. Negative. The top stays the same. We want it to stay the same because we need this 4y to cancel out the negative 4y we just created. So we have negative 43 times what? We have elimination, 0, equals negative 120. Now, if you don't have a calculator, please use some estimation. So if you know, like, if you round this, you get like 120 over 40. So we need to divide both sides by 43. And how many times does 40 go in through? Yeah, it goes in 3 times, right? So you can estimate, you still get your answer just the same. Watch your sign, negative divided by negative, positive. There's some that will read for a calculator on every simple little calculation. You'll find out if you try to estimate, you might be able to do it faster without the calculator. So that's the idea here, is that you can multiply top or bottom and cancel out y or x, whichever one. And there you go. So your task is, by the end of class, finish at least the first step of every problem, and then go back and start working on finding the second step the same way you did 1 and 2. Find that second step. And write your answer always as a coordinate. So the final thing you'll turn in by tomorrow will have your x, your y as a coordinate, plus a check. All right? The rest of the period is yours. You work on this, ask questions.